I am Heather Finke, and I'm co-chair for Teach for America in the Charlotte-Piedmont Triad region. And today I'm going to be asking some questions of my dear, good friend, Michelle Stalworth, who is a fourth grade teacher, and she is my hero. And I like to hear about her classroom work and the difficulties and triumphs she's having this year. So we're going to talk about 3 questions for her and for all of y'all to know a little bit more about her classroom. Michelle, you said you liked this question about mentors and teachers who you admire. Could you tell us about some of yours?
Yes. Well, my first mentor that I really admire, she inspires me, is Dr. Krista Flood. She's with Teach for America. And one thing that I really admire about her is that every time that you meet her or you encounter her, it really feels personable and authentic, and she's very genuine. She interacts with so many people of the region, but it always feels like a one-on-one, even when you're in a group with her. And I don't know, I just really appreciate that about her. And she will go above and beyond just to make sure that you're comfortable, that you're being helped, that you feel valued. And she always finds like the highlight of you and showcases it. That way you never ever forget like your why or who you are. I just really love her. My second, I'll say my second group of inspiring mentors are the people who work on my team, like admin, like my principal, Mr. Calloway, Ms. Harris, she's my assistant principal, and my coach.
Isn't that great?
What'd you say, Heather?
Isn't that great when your boss is somebody you admire?
Yes, and for different reasons. Like they're both my boss, but Mr. Calloway, he's 100% himself. He's unapologetically himself, and he's no nonsense. And he really pushes you to do better, to come out of your shell, to be a leader. And I really appreciate that about him. And then our assistant principal, she requires the same things, but she's very nurturing and there to lend an ear to you. And they're both leaders that I aspire to be like when and if I ever become an admin at a school.
Honey, when you were describing the virtues that they had, they sound like an authentic teacher.
Yeah, they are. They're like leadership parents, kind of like principal parents. Yeah, we see straighten up. Yeah, they're really cool. And my coach at school too. And also my coaches that I've encountered with TFA, they have been really inspiring for me as well. Natalie and Deborah. Deborah was my coach last year. Natalie's my coach this year, but they're there. They're always asking like, how can I help you? They were a big support to my classroom last year and this year. And also you, Heather, like you're very inspiring to me too. Like just taking the time out every single week to come to my classroom and read to my kids and seeing them with such joy in their heart and really get that love for reading. Because like I sit in the classroom and I teach them all these different skills, but it's hard to make reading fun when it's like in an academic setting. So just having them have a break and seeing you and looking forward to you every single week, and just reading to them some of the childhood classics that I liked that they probably wouldn't want me reading to them, and seeing them get excited.
I love showing up.
Yes, it makes me excited.
I love reading that. It's a highlight of my week.
Yes.
Let's move on to another question. What are the most challenging or funniest moments that you might have experienced during this pandemic year? Challenging or laughter or funny or happy?
I'll tell you both. The most challenging is probably just the pandemic, teaching during a pandemic, virtually and in person, and trying to navigate through it and balance the both. It's been very difficult. Just making sure that I'm able to reach my kids and build that connection with them, because relationships is very important to me. The building of relationships is very important to me in the classroom. Probably like the number one thing on my list, but it's been very difficult to do that this year with them. So just trying to be creative and making sure that my kids know that I'm there for them and getting to know them and them getting to know me. That's been the most difficult part. But the best part is building those relationships. That's my favorite thing about this year. Like one of my kids, like you asked about the funniest things, it may not be like the most appropriate, but I had one of my kids, he's super bright. He likes to tell me little facts all the time. And he came to me and it was I think it was on Friday. He was like, Miss Stalworth. I was like, yes. And he was like, do you know that your butthole can stretch 8 inches wide? And he just walked away. And like for a second, it was like me and my co-teacher standing there and we were just staring like, really? But he really wanted us to know. It was funny and we had to wait until he walked away to laugh. But they just say the silliest things to you. Like they're so innocent at this age. And I just love hearing the things that come out of their mouth. Even if it's about.
Well, I bet you validated him and him telling you that. I bet you didn't say, oh, you should be talking about that.
No, I never did that.
Look, what an interesting thing to think is cool and funny, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I just said, he's a boy. The girls didn't like it. They were like, ew. But yeah.
Okay, one last thing. Would you tell us about a time during the school year or when you're preparing for class or thinking about next year when you felt hopeful? I mean, there's, you know, we're all looking for hope, and we're all thinking that better days are ahead. But there's, you know, there's great and funny and smart and successful and progress today. But when have you felt hopeful?
Every time I see my kids' faces, like when they come to school and they show up, I feel hopeful every single day. Like I could be having the worst day. I could have looked at something CMS did or like, you know, like get into like the politics of education. But when they walk through that door, I genuinely feel hopeful because I see them grow every day, even if it's the smallest amount of growth. I like just watching them grow, seeing their faces, seeing how happy they are and excited they are to come into school, getting like some of my tough crowds to smile in class.
Yeah.
That all makes me feel hopeful.
Yeah.
Makes me want to come back next year.
Honey, I think you not only have a career teaching, and oh, by the way, I'm listening.
You're breaking up, Heather.
Michelle has been a servicewoman as well, and so teaching is another chapter for her. And I think that not only is this a career for Michelle, in my opinion, because we have gotten to know each other, this is purpose for her. This is purpose of her life. She has purpose. She's living a full life. And it's my pleasure to know her, and it's a real blessing, I believe, for her children to have her as a teacher.
Thank you.
So